Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review yet another film that I got to go see. And this is a much smaller film that's getting a lot of attention, not necessarily box office attention, but definitely critical attention, and it's good time. And this is one of those run all night kind of crime thrillers, and it's about a young man, played by Robert Pattinson, who, him and his brother with some kind of disabilities, he gets caught during a robbery and he's trying his best to get his brother out of the situation that he's in over the course of this night. And from start to finish, this is a ballsy movie. This doesn't take any shortcuts, it doesn't hold anything back, and I was pretty shocked about some of the stuff that they showed in this film and were able to portray. Now, this is directed by the Safdie brothers, and this film's definitely unrelenting and keeps you on your toes a lot throughout this film. The first part of this film with the actual robbery is white knuckling the whole entire time. And it's honestly really unpredictable, and you're never quite sure where this film's going to go, and that's really exciting. Now, it has a lot of high energy, and they keep up the pace throughout most of the film. There are some quieter moments, but the thing is, the way that the characters and the environment are fleshed out, even when it's slower, you're so intrigued by what's going on. Because this film, honestly, the best way I could describe this is it feels like a fever dream. It's like you're in such like a high, like tense point that everything seems so dreamlike and eerie and weird and atmospheric, and how everything's put together. You're just on this high basically throughout this whole entire film, and it's very dark and hits on some very unsavory kinds of things throughout this film, and really presents a world that feels like a fantasy world, feels like something made up for a movie, but the thing is, it's not. There are people going through these kinds of things, and along with the cinematography done by Sean Price Williams, there's some really cool shots how they utilize taking shots of the city, these like crane shots really coming in from over top and then zooming in, the real close-ups on people that really give it a sense of, you really see the emotions that are being portrayed by the characters because you're so up and close and personal with them. And then there's some car sequences and even a chase that's like completely overhead. I thought that was really cool use of camera work, and just as this grainy atmosphere that the cinematography has, it just feels so gritty and gross and grimy, and you're really stuck in this environment with the main character played by Robert Pattinson. This was written by Josh Safdie and Ronald Bronstein. It has a simple story. It's this guy trying to accomplish this one thing, getting his brother out of a bad situation, but it's very unpredictable. And I felt like the ending might have been a little anticlimactic, but the thing is, it does keep you on your toes. You never know where this film's going, and that is pretty cool and unique for a film nowadays. And from the characters, they were really complex. You really saw unbelievable amounts of layers to these characters and the situations that they're in. Yet, the main character, besides the fact that you understand why he's doing this is because to save his brother, he's so unredeemable and so unlikable. It's kind of hard sometimes to sit there and be like, okay, I'm all along this ride with you. Because he's not charismatic, he's not really likable, it's just grimy, but you know his drive, and I guess that's good enough for what they're trying to accomplish with this film. It feels so organic and real, all the dialogue, because everything what they say, and it just feels like it would be something that somebody from this rundown place in New York, this is how they are, this is how they interact, and it's really believable. And just the amount of what this man will do to save his brother is kind of it's unreal, and the ties that he has to his family, and this really deals with the underbelly of urban society and what it fleshes out and what people have to do to survive, or what they just do. Some things that they do just seem so normal in this film, but it's kind of shocking to me, somebody who grew up in the white suburbs. It's unbelievable. And oddly enough, I compare this to works like Hell or High Water or Wind River that I talked about a couple weeks ago, because these places are very much real but feel so fleshed out in this film, but feel so unbelievable. But you're transported there and it makes it feel so real. And that's a lot of praise I would give to the filmmakers of this film. Now, the composer Daniel Lopatin, the music in this is fantastic. It creates such an atmosphere and tension and drive to this film with all this like techno and like keyboards and everything. It has a very driving score, but also gives such an interesting atmosphere to everything that it elevates a lot of the sequences. Now, Robert Pattinson's and Benny Safdie, one of the directors, absolutely amazing in this film. I could say Benny Safdie, for his small role in this film, really does deserve some praise. And Robert Pattinson is getting himself into the conversation for Best Actor, and which is kind of crazy because earlier in this year when Lost City of Zed came out, I was really pushing for him to get a supporting actor for that film. He is having a year for himself, standing out in the cinemas. And now time for the it factor, my final thoughts on this film in general. And it is a crazy atmospheric joyride. You're just, from start to finish, you're in amazement about how this film was put together and how this story is going to turn out, and you're on the edge of your seat because you never know what's going to happen. And I'm going to give Good Time an A.